Welcome to Digitize, the channel where creativity meets technology. Today, we're tackling a serious question, one that's bound to spark debates in car clubs, online forums, and muscle car meetups everywhere. Is the Ford Torino Cobra the king of muscle cars? Now, that's a bold claim, but when you look at the raw power, aggressive styling, and sheer presence of this beast, you might just start to believe it. Buckle up, because we're diving deep into what makes the Torino Cobra a true legend of the muscle car era. First, let's talk about where this machine fits into the golden era of muscle cars. The late 60s and early 70s were an all-out horsepower war, with the big three throwing everything they had into their high-performance models. Ford needed something to go toe-to-toe with the Dodge Charger, the Chevrolet Chevelle SS, and of course, the mighty Plymouth Road Runner. Enter the Ford Torino Cobra, a car that wasn't just a statement, but a challenge to the competition. Under the hood is where things get really exciting. The heart of the Torino Cobra was the legendary 429 cubic inch Super Cobra Jet V8. This wasn't just any engine, it was a street-legal monster, packing an underrated 375 horsepower and a brutal 450 lb-ft of torque. But here's the kicker: many believe those numbers were conservative, and real-world tests showed it pumping out well over 400 horses. Pair that with a 4-speed close-ratio manual transmission, a beefed-up suspension, and a drag pack option that included a 4.30:1 rear-axle ratio, and you had a car that was built for one thing: straight-line domination. Now, let's talk about the design. The Torino Cobra didn't just sound aggressive, it looked aggressive. The long, sleek, fastback profile gave it a menacing stance, while the shaker hood scoop hinted at the firepower lurking underneath. Ford took aerodynamics seriously with this one, streamlining the body to make sure it could cut through the air with ease at high speeds. The bold striping, optional rear louvers, and mag-style wheels completed the look, making sure this wasn't just another muscle car, it was a statement piece. But muscle cars aren't just about what's under the hood. They're about the feeling they give you when you're behind the wheel. And let me tell you, the Torino Cobra delivers an experience that's nothing short of exhilarating. Fire up that Super Cobra Jet V8, and you're greeted with a deep, throaty rumble that shakes the pavement. Tap the throttle, and you feel an instant surge of power, pushing you back into your seat. The handling? Well, let's be honest, this was the early 70s, and these cars weren't built for tight corners. But in a straight line, the Torino Cobra was an absolute rocket, capable of quarter-mile times in the mid-13s with the right setup. That was serious speed for the time, and put it in the same league as the best of the best. Of course, no muscle car discussion is complete without talking about rarity and collectibility. The Torino Cobra never reached the same production numbers as some of its rivals, making it a hidden gem in the collector world. Today, finding an original, well-preserved Super Cobra Jet model is like striking gold. Prices have been climbing steadily, and as more people recognize the Torino Cobra's place in muscle car history, it's becoming one of the most sought-after Fords of its era. So, is the Ford Torino Cobra the king of muscle cars? Well, that depends on how you define a king. If we're talking about sheer power, road presence, and straight-line performance, this car is undoubtedly in the conversation. It may not have the same mainstream recognition as the Mustang or the Charger, but for those in the know, the Torino Cobra represents one of the most badass, no-nonsense muscle cars ever built. It's a machine that demands respect, both on the street and at the drag strip. And now, I want to hear from you. Is the Torino Cobra the ultimate muscle car, or does another classic take the crown? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's settle this debate once and for all. And as always, if you enjoyed this deep dive into muscle car history, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. This is the host name, and I'll catch you in the next one. Stay fast, stay loud, and keep those engines roaring.